comes here to Musa. Musa with the ball across to the left here for Lund. Cross swung in by Lund, flipped up in the air towards the edge of the box where Balogun is trying to bring it down, but with a battle on there, it was won by Joe Bell. And then given away by Rufer. Aronson into the box here for Brendan Aronson. The block coming in from Pijnacker. 29th minute, the US looking for the breakthrough here. Aronson down the right for Fossey. The first time ball in, Pepe got a flick to it. Wright couldn't get there before Crocombe, the keeper.
Yeah, this ball just fired in really low. It comes actually off the back of Pepe. I don't think Fossey is picking him out as the first runner.
Almost caught out in the midfield there as Chris Richards came a long way to make the tackle. Just stepping inside against Fossey. In for Rufer, Wellington Phoenix midfielder. Now Finn Sermon. Bell, who plays for Viking in Norway. Pijnacker looking for the long ball towards Garbutt. Matthew Garbutt with a little flick here. Comes towards Tim Payne. Payne up against Lund, wide on the New Zealand right. McKenzie can head it away. Haji Wright did well. And the referee will just pull this one back because I think he thinks it's a head injury. It's Tim Payne that is down.
Yeah, right. He has the positioning. They're both coming in. Yeah, I think the angle that ball's traveling, the referee's correct to not call it a foul. You know, Payne really leaps and comes over a little bit of the back of Haji.
Tim Payne has been with Wellington Phoenix since 2019. Actually had a brief spell with Portland Timbers. Portland Timbers 2 back in their USL days. Half an hour gone as Chris Wood is in the ear of the referee, Selvin Brown. Selvin Brown refereeing 3 Leagues Cup games earlier this year, including Inter Miami's win against Puebla. And seeing plenty of MLS teams. Standing next to Aidan Morris there. He actually sent Morris off in April in Columbus in a 1-1 game against Tigres in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, part of Columbus's wonderful run forward in that competition under Wilfred Nancy. It does make it more difficult having made the move when you keep seeing how well your old team is playing and winning things, as they did with the Leagues Cup this summer. Aidan Morris moving to Middlesbrough in June for around $4 million US. Started all 4 games in the championship so far. Here he is in possession. Middlesbrough have 7 points from the first 4 matches. They're 7th in the championship in England. This is Aronson, who's also playing in that league with Leeds. Aronson's done really well here, gets into the box, goes down. To be fair, he didn't appeal for anything to the referee. It was more a shout from the crowd.
Well, I think he's just surprised that there's no pressure over his right shoulder. Nice little nutmeg. And just does really well to help out his teammate. Had to time that run and that slide to perfection. Set piece here for the U.S.
In from Aronson to the 6-yard box, comes out, Fossey puts it back into the box. All the way out towards Christopher Lund. Musa whips the ball into the middle. McKenzie. A rare start at the back for Mark McKenzie. His first since March of 2023 when he got the start in a 7-1 win in Grenada in the Nations League. Fossey. Morris. The Referee's given the free kick here. US Soccer on TNT is brought to you by Volkswagen, presenting partner of US Soccer. We're in Cincinnati, where after 33 minutes of play, it's goalless between the US and New Zealand. That despite Ricardo Pepi thinking he'd put them one up in the 19th minute, only for the referee to disallow the goal after a long conversation with the assistant on the far side. Morris. Richards across the back for McKenzie. A little over 10 minutes to go until half-time here in Cincinnati. Lund down the left side. Aronson will give chase. Balogun's the one to get there. And Payne loses out to Lund. Lund inside to the edge of the box here for Haji Wright. The first part worked.
Chris Wood is definitely not enjoying this one. Really difficult. Now with New Zealand, they're just getting tired out. They're shifting east and west in a block and trying to close down passing lanes. U.S. have done a really good job of just dragging them from side to side and probing, but Chris Wood now, they're getting further and further on an island.
Musa wide to the right for Fossey. What a good first touch that is from the debutant. Played back inside for Pepi! Just wide. Really well done by Fossey down the right side to create the opening, and Pepi almost finding the net again.
Boy, watch this first touch. It just perfectly puts it out in front of him, and then Pepi, he's just pointing exactly where he wants it. He just does not strike it well. It comes underneath his feet. He doesn't get the pacing of his steps right. Just shanks it into the ground. It still had a chance after that to hop up and get touched in far post. Pepi wants that one back.
One goal in 4 appearances in the league for PSV for Ricardo Pepi, who, when they return next week, will be getting set for the new Champions League format that PSV will kick off against Juventus. Tim Payne. Picked up here by Brendan Aronson. Aronson away. Oh, that's a foul, and a yellow card is coming here for Alex Rufer.
Aronson, just great balance, good skill, good acceleration. I mean, this is just a terrible challenge. He doesn't swing. He knows what he's doing. I mean, it's definitely a yellow card. All he's thinking right now is, I'm not catching up with Aronson, and Cooper just takes him down. And Aronson was talking to us, and we mentioned it last game about the return to Leeds, and it was difficult. Suffering some boos in the first couple of games, and nothing like scoring 2 goals. Get the Leeds fans back on his side, and he seems to be enjoying life from the start of his Premier League campaign. The championship.
Aronson's last international goal almost a year ago, September the 13th of last year. 4-0 win against Oman in Minnesota. 38th minute here. Brendan Aronson standing over this free kick for the United States. McKenzie and Richards are both forward from the back as Aronson sends this one in. Pepi was the man to get a touch on the edge of the box that just took it away and into a New Zealand defender. And Lund will turn it all the way back to the 30-year-old from Park Ridge, New Jersey, Matt Turner. Sheets this year for the US for Turner against Bolivia in the Copa America and in the Nations League final against Mexico. Possession turned over here as it's played forward by Joe Bell. Just will chase it, but Fossey was back there to get it all the way back to the goalkeeper. Morris with a ball forward. Right will turn. Wood. Wood now making his way into the box. He wants it played straight into the middle, cleared away by McKenzie. And now the shot driven in. Turner is able to make the save. And that's the first shot on target tonight for New Zealand. And it was Kakache, the Empoli man, coming forward down that left side.
And Musa just really poor giveaway in that spot. Easy in the end for Matt Turner. The routine collapse dive, but Musa, just in this camp, hasn't looked himself. He's an important player. Any way you slice it, the body of work, for a club in country, Pochettino will know that's a player that he needs to reach a level that he'll want to get out of him. He is one of the star players, but this camp, he hasn't been at his best.
Balogun steps over the challenge from Garbutt, fires the ball forward into the path of Pepe down the right side. A wonderful break here from the United States. But not the best ball into the middle for Pepe. And the great work undone as New Zealand come back towards halfway with Garbutt. Long forward by Payne, and Chris Wood will chase. But Turner is able to get it away against his former teammate. Pressure coming from Just as Richards finds Morris. Balogun. Musa. Now Lund down the left side, into the path of Wright. Right up against Payne. Inside the final 5 minutes of the first half in Cincinnati, here at TQL Stadium. High ball hoisted in towards the back post. Fossey is the first one to meet it. Trying to pick out Balogun.
That's a wonderful idea from Lund. I mean, that's a really dangerous ball.
Aronson wide for Fossey on the right. Here's Melissa Ortiz.
Yesterday we got to speak to midfielder Aidan Morris, who has been so involved in today's game in that midfield and his leave from Columbus Crew to Middlesbrough. And he said it's been hard, leaving training and sometimes asking himself, did I make the right move? As a kid, you dream to play in Europe, but it's not all as luxurious as it all seems. But it's certainly been stepping out of his comfort zone. He's done really well, and it's what 12-year-old Aidan has wanted to do. Now we asked him, what is his new goal now that he has arrived to the UK? His answer, consistency. New avenues and new doors will open if he's consistent, and hopefully he'll be able to play in the Premier League next year and be a mainstay if things go right.
Aidan Morris, the 22-year-old from Fort Lauderdale, who came on for Johnny Cardoso just after the hour mark against Canada for his second appearance of the year, having started that non-FIFA window game against Slovenia in San Antonio. He made his debut the previous January against Serbia.
There's 45 minutes to go, but so far in this camp, I mean, he's might be, to me, the most impressive player in this camp so far. Definitely in the top 3. Schulte, another player that came up with the goods, made some big saves. That's good when you consider, under 2 years to a World Cup. There's no World Cup qualifying, so you have to use games where you have artificial stakes. You got to find reasons that it matters. Players like Morris have come in and made statements. He's been excellent this game.
Morris with family and friends here tonight in Cincinnati, making the short trip from Columbus. He did say he didn't think they'd be welcomed here in their crew jerseys at the home of FC Cincinnati. Between 15 and 20 family and friends of Aidan Morris in the house tonight. This is Fossey down that right side. Musa gets the cross and it took a deflection on the way through. He's back out for Fossey again. The best touch by Aidan Morris there as the US trying to win it back, but it's brought forward here by Kakache. Matthew Garbutt rolled it through for Kakache. He steps inside, Fossey recovers. Richards away towards Musa. Final 90 seconds of the first half. Coming up next is the Volkswagen halftime show. 0-0 here between the US and New Zealand. Quick throw from Aronson. Morris looking for options, gets it back here from Balogun. Nicely done by Brendan Aronson here, the way opening up, but Matthew Garbutt in there with a challenge, and the referee giving the free kick. Head in hands from Garbutt, he's not sure about that decision.
I like that from McKenzie. That's a few times now he's looked up and yeah, the options have been covered and he's just carried the ball through the lines.
Aronson standing over it as we approach first half stoppage time, which there won't be too much. 3 minutes to be added on at the end of the half here in Cincinnati. Aronson swings it in. Fossey looking to get there first in the challenge with Joe Bell. Aronson. Right for Lund down the left. Lund's ball in, the head of Balogun. Lund with another opportunity here to try and serve a ball into the box. He'll go across instead to Musa. Musa has options wide to the right. He might have a goal himself! Oh, that's a good save from Drogum. Appeals for a penalty there as Balogun is down on the edge of the 6-yard box. A fizzing strike from Musa, testing the New Zealand keeper.
Oh, he catches all this one. What a beautiful strike. And he's thinking shoot all along. That's one of the reasons he takes such a long touch. And it's got a little topspin on it. Also spins off the ground and catches a little speed. That's a very difficult save.
There's a look from the AT&T net count. Musa still looking for his first US goal, and that would have been a spectacular way to open his account. Here comes Haji Wright down the left side here. Haji Wright up against Rufer. Wright gliding into the box, pulls it back, but couldn't find Balogun. Comes back towards Morris. Glanced off the head of Bell. And out towards Pepe on the far side. Lund driving it towards the top corner.
Well, this is always starting well wide. We've seen London in attacking positions much more this game, and I think he was one of the bright spots in the second half against Canada. Yeah, Mikey will like the performance. They're doing the right things. Obviously, he hoped to have the goal already. He'd hoped to have a lead to reward them for a good first half performance.
Dell gets a flick to it. Aronson battling for the ball on halfway. Kakache all the way back towards Max Croker, who plays in the third tier in England with Burton Albion. The halftime whistle goes here in Cincinnati. It is goalless between the US and New Zealand.
I think Pepe, one of the stars of that first half, will be a little disappointed. Maybe, I don't know if he'll check his phone at halftime, but I'm sure a bunch of his friends and people saying that should have been a goal. Definitely saw a response from the US team. Yeah, they were the dominant force, but still 0-0. See what they're going to have to do to break through, and obviously they got some weapons on the bench.
Ricardo Pepi finding the back of the net, but the goal was disallowed after a lengthy conversation between the referee and his assistant. New Zealand with a couple of opportunities, one shot on target, as Mikey Varas is with Melissa.
Mikey, certainly a better response this first half. How does this team break through New Zealand in the second half?
Right now we just missed the final pass. If the final pass is with quality, we'll get there. And just being a little bit smarter in the build-up sometimes, because we don't want to give them anything easy. Final pass and don't give them anything easy.
Thank you, Mikey.
Sarah Walsh, DeMarcus Beasley and Brian Dunseth on the way. US Soccer on TNT is presented by Volkswagen. At halftime, it's 0-0 in Cincinnati. This one is still tied 0-0 between the United States and New Zealand. And Mikey Varas, the interim head coach, is making a change at halftime. Luca De La Torre, who scored his first career US goal at the weekend against Canada, is replacing Yunus Musah. So one change for the US. It's the same 11 that started this game that is out there for the start of the second half for New Zealand. And Luca De La Torre getting the opportunity to impact this game off the bench as he did at the weekend. And as you mentioned, it was a tough half for Yunus Musah.
Yeah, it just absolutely was below his standards on this trip, and I have a lot of respect and a lot of excitement about that player. So you know, that's one thing that's just an anomaly. I haven't seen performances, especially 2 in a row, that were below his standards. So listen, he's going to factor in this cycle, and Pochettino needs to figure out how to get him at his best game in and game out, because he is a big-time player.
Musah heading back to AC Milan. He'll play against Liverpool in the Champions League next week. That looked like a foul there as Lund goes down under the challenge from Tim Payne, who came a long way forward to try and get there. Payne, the 30-year-old defender.
Well, it's a good opportunity for De La Torre. Saw Mikey pull him aside after training the other day. They have a long conversation, and Mikey Varas loves to have those one-on-ones with players, and De La Torre, as you said, was a bright spot off the bench. You know, in a game like this too, you know, his ability to get on the ball, dynamic, that final pass that's been lacking. He is the player that has the quality to go find that pass.
Not yet made his debut in the league this season for Celta Vigo due to injuries, but De La Torre with a couple of substitute appearances here, having just returned to full fitness. He'll roll the ball forward for Fossey down the right side, and Fossey's done well here. He's into the box, plays it across goal, and out it goes off Nando Pajneka for a corner here for the US, and Fossey has been another bright spot tonight for the US.
Yeah, he's played very aggressive, you know, and with, you know, Dest's injury, this is a position that a lot of players are going to want to make a statement. That's been a hard spot to break into.
Lund swings this ball in towards the 6-yard box, and at the back post, the header is wide. Flag was up for offside anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered, but Balogun couldn't direct that one on goal. Marlon Fossey plays the Standard Liège in Belgium, a former US under-20 international. He won the CONCACAF under-20 championship in 2017.
Well, here's the ball again. I don't think so. Well, yeah, well, I wonder if he's calling them off out after the first header.
The team that Fossey played in 2017, the final of that CONCACAF under-20 championship, also included Luca De La Torre, who came on at half-time, and Tyler Adams as well. Austin Trusty, who is on the bench tonight, made a substitute appearance in that final. Fossey will get game time for Standard Liège.
Gio Reyna, as we said last game, went home with a groin injury. I mean, this is the exact type of game you'd love to have a Gio Reyna in.
High ball forward towards Chris Wood. New Zealand qualifying for 2 World Cups. In 1982 and 2010. Wood actually was in that squad in 2010. Failed to advance from the group in both of them, but in 2010 in South Africa they did finish third in the group with 3 points. Drew all 3 games against Italy, Slovakia and Paraguay. US bringing it forward down the left side here. As Lund pushes the ball towards Brendan Aronson. And that has gone out right by the corner flag for a US throw here. And Lund goes across to take it. Lund, the 22-year-old, born in Denmark, played 90 minutes against Canada at the weekend on his third US start. And that's a goal kick. Let's head down to Melissa Ortiz, who had the chance to catch up with Mikey Varas.
I got to speak to Mikey, and he said exactly what you just said, Kyle, before, that they got to make that final pass in the final third. Can't give them anything, meaning they got to be really careful with those turnovers in the midfield. It's a 90-minute game, and they need to sustain that intensity the entire time. I asked him about Aiden as well. He said he's been fantastic this game.
Del Torre pushed forward down the right for Pepe. Pepe back to the former Columbus man, Aidan Morris in the midfield. Balogun, fancy footwork from following Balogun, and Fossey is away down the right side, but Balogun couldn't quite find him in time. It goes to Chris Richards. Started all three in the Premier League for Palace in the opening weeks of this season. 90 minutes and a 1-1 draw against Chelsea just before the break. That's a free kick. Morris did well, and then he was fouled, and a yellow card is coming here for Marko Stamenik, the Olympiacos midfielder. Second New Zealand midfielder into the book, following Alex Rufer in the first half.
Well, this ball probably, Morris at that point, I don't think he wants it, but does so well to just protect and shield and draw that foul. Yeah, and the thing about Morris that the referee's calling that, missed what happened there on Lund going up on this challenge.
Just as the player down, as the referee calls for treatment.
Now here's a look at it. Ooh. Yeah, that one hurts.
We talked a lot about Marlon Fossey on his debut tonight, getting forward down the right side. He did talk to us yesterday about the difference for club and country, where he's playing on the right side of a back four. Here he plays as a wing back on
like
a
back
three at the club level. So that obviously affords him a lot of opportunities to get forward down the right.
I mean, in a way, he's played as if he's been a wing back today, and it's really helped. I think that was something against Canada, and Mikey Varas talks a lot about transitions. Against Canada, even in moments where they're able to create turnovers and have a little bit of attacking possession, the fullbacks were timid, and that timidity and that lack of just commitment to get forward, it made things really difficult when the U.S. were able to get on the ball and try to create some difficult moments for Canada. And this game, obviously different scenario, different team, not putting as much pressure on them, but Fossey's been flying up there and had a really high attacking position most of this game.
The big news today is that Mauricio Pochettino has been officially named as the new head coach of the US men's national team. The former Chelsea, Spurs, Southampton, PSG boss. Worked with Matt Crocker a long time ago back at Southampton.
That's a big hire. And it's listen, you always go through the list, and fans will do this. They'll do it with club or do it with country and all the coaches they'd love to get. The reality is, it's a list of coaches you have a chance of getting, and that's about as high up the list as you can get in terms of a coach that is going to take this job, a coach that could take a young team that Greg Berhalter move forward and get them to a next level. I mean, Pochettino has a portfolio of work that's demonstrated that at several clubs.
Pochettino will begin by flying to the US tomorrow. As a yellow card is shown here for Garbett. Not much flow to this second half so far in the 54th minute. And then he'll take charge for the first time in the October window, when the US will play against Panama.